2019. My mom was my best friend. That holiday is usually associated for new starts, clean slates, new beginnings. That day will always be the day that I lost her. I talked to her 2 or 3 times a day, every single day. She supported this thing from day one, even when I sucked. She never told me I sucked. A few times she said, "Are you sure about this?" And that's a parent's nice way of saying, "You suck, but I've totally got your back on this." Every good quality I have came from my mom. My mom was loud. My mom was very loud. The kind of loud that gets you asked to leave restaurants and department stores. She was very outspoken. She taught me the value of language. She taught me how important words can be. She taught me how they can raise people up and how they can take people's legs out from under them. She taught me both ways to use those. Check out my Twitter. My mom was fiercely independent. My mom worked 2 jobs my entire life to make sure that I had every single opportunity that she did not have. My mother taught me the value of hard work. She told me early on, nothing in this life is given to you. Every single thing is worked for, sweat for, bled for, and it's worth it once you get it. I am proud to be her son. I would not be the man standing here today if it was not for that woman and the work she put into me. I also got all my mom's bad qualities. I consider all those good. My mom suffers from the same disease that I have. My mom was an addict. I am a drug addict. I am an alcoholic. Tomorrow I'll celebrate 10 years of sobriety. She'd have been proud of that. Don't get it twisted, like my mom wasn't always an addict. My mom was the youngest of 6 children. She watched almost every single one of her siblings die before they were 45 years old of substance abuse related deaths. My mom knew better. My mom didn't drink, she didn't do drugs. She taught us to stay away from that shit. We call it the family problem. That shit is in our blood and we can't do that stuff. But at the end of my mom's life, the last few years, she got hurt at one of her jobs. She hurt her back. And they had surgery and it didn't work, so they had another surgery. It didn't work, they had another surgery. And I had to watch over 2 years as that woman faded into a shell of the absolute force of fucking nature that she used to be. It was so fucking hard watching her turn into this just not the same person. Just pitiful. My mom was the woman that walked into the room and sucked all of the air out, and here she was, just this pale imitation of the hurricane that raised me. But then the doctors started they wrote a prescription for these little pills, these little white pills called Oxycontin. They were amazing. They were amazing. For 2 months, I thought it was like a super drug because it brought her right back. She was up, she was moving, she was going to work. She was sassy, she was saying fuck a lot. I loved it. But after a couple months, she started needing 2 pills instead of 1 pill. And we just shrugged it off because we had her mom back. We ignored it. But then once the early onset dementia kicked in, and my mom started forgetting who I was, she started forgetting who she had to hide that addiction from. And once she forgot who I was, and once she forgot who to hide it from, it became very clear that those drugs had their teeth in her. They were not gonna let her go. So for the next couple months, I had to watch as the drugs just took over. They took her from me. So when my dad called me on New Year's Eve of 2019, I was not angry, I was not sad, I was not lonely. I was happy. It was the weirdest joy I've ever felt. But I was happy that she wouldn't hear any more hurting. I was happy that I didn't have to see that version of her anymore. I'm happy that the drugs couldn't win another fucking day. Sadness didn't come until the first holiday that I associate with my mother, which is my birthday, May 3rd. Every single year on my birthday, she would call me the exact minute I was born. 7:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not 7:33, not 7:35, you could set your fucking watch to it. And every year was the same shitty joke. She would call, she said, "Hey." I said, "Hey, Mama." And she said, "I just wanted to call and remind you that on this day, 30 some odd years ago, you ruined me and your father's life. She said, BJ, we used to be young and beautiful people. We had dreams, aspirations. And then we had you. And she tried to keep a straight face. Sometimes she'd make it 15 seconds, sometimes she'd make it a minute, but she always laughed. And friends, I have been traveling on this godforsaken rock for 40 years now, and I have yet to find a sound that elicits so much joy than the sound of my mother's laughter. And I'm not talking about the bullshit you do in public when somebody tells a bad joke and you're trying to be nice. I'm talking about the uncomfortable laughter. It almost sounds fake when somebody laughs like this. It's my favorite. I have a couple voicemails that I go back and listen to once a week just so I can fucking never forget. It's right here. I still hear it. My dad had to go through the same thing. My dad's one of them big corn-fed motherfuckers. He doesn't like to show his feelings. He's a man. And the man's job, especially in the South, is to be the emotional rock for your family. You are the center. You don't get to feel feelings, so everybody else can feel feelings in your family, especially your sissy son that writes in his journal all the time. So when my dad died, straight face, this is life, son. We lose people we love. First holiday rolled around that affected my dad was his anniversary. Like a bunch of redneck kids in 1976, my parents got married on July 4th. The bicentennial. 200 years of America. And I'm sure my dad was like, listen, baby, think about it. Every single year we get to come to Myrtle Beach. We get some free fireworks. Cook up some dogs. And celebrate the eternal fire that burns inside of me for you. And it'd be okay getting married on July 4, 1976. The only problem was they met in May of 1976. And they didn't meet through a mutual friend or a family member. They met senior week in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Anywhere else in the country, I have to explain what Myrtle Beach is. Not here. Not here. You are my people. You are the kind of mutant redneck that I share blood with. Myrtle Beach is not where you go to find everlasting love. Saltwater taffy, yes. Calabash shrimp, yes. A F-350 with a fucking hot tub in the back, hell yeah. But you don't go there to find your soulmate. But I'll be damned, 43 years later, they looked at each other the same way those kids looked at each other in Myrtle Beach. She would walk into a room and she might as well have been floating. My dad looked like a kid on Christmas morning every time he saw that woman. Even at her lowest low, she lit him up. So when she died, I knew that his anniversary was gonna fuck him up. So I called him, I said, Dad, I'm coming home on the 3rd, I'm gonna sleep on the couch. Tomorrow's gonna be a motherfucker, man. And he said, son, I'll never forget this. He said, son, one of us knows how to deal with our feelings. And one of us writes songs for a living. I said, okay, hotshot. I was like, I'm still coming home, I want to see you, I want to make sure I'm there for you. So I came home and I sat on the couch, I fell asleep. I woke up the next morning. My dad walked out of that room and I've never seen him look like this. For the first time in 43 years, he woke up on July 4th and rolled over to his left. And the love of his life was not looking back at him to tell him happy anniversary and that I love you. Whew. It'll get real. He walked out of that room and he was white. Never seen it. My dad's always been a fucking superhero. You could tell he didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to deal with it. He doesn't do this shit. So he just came over and he fell into my arms and I put my arms around him. He just cried. Right into my chest. That hit me harder than my birthday. Watching this man fucking fall back down to earth and be a human being for a moment was so tough for me. So I went home and I wrote this song for me and him to get through this shit. And then I put it out into the world and then I realized very quickly it was not our song anymore. It was everybody's song. So this song goes out to anybody out there that's lost somebody. Whether it's a parent, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a friend, God forbid it be a kid. This goes out to you. And if you were too young to have lost somebody that truly fucking matters to you, this song will be waiting for you when you do. This is a song called The First Year. It's finally here, that time of year when your favorite flowers start to bloom. And the showers of April cascade into the sauna we call June. Yesterday was my birthday, first one since you've been gone. All my friends say it gets easier. All my friends have been known to be wrong. 'Cause you left in such a hurry, I had so much left to say. Yeah, I'm just passing by, thought I'd stop and say hi, that I miss you. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, the two of you said I do. July 4 of 76. And it was all sunshine and rainbows till you threw a couple babies in the mix. A shining example of what love could truly be. But like a castle made of sand, I watched that mountain of a man fall apart when they laid to rest his queen. 'Cause you left in such a hurry, I had so much left to say. Yeah, I'm just passing by, thought I'd stop and say hi, that I miss you. Happy Independence Day. Last New Year's Eve was like no other New Year before. You never think you'll get that call, till that call comes a knocking at your door. 'Cause you left in such a hurry, I had so much left to say. Yeah, I'm just passing by, thought I'd stop and say hi, that I miss you. Happy New Year's Day. Thank you so much. I'm gonna get the rest of that band out here.